So I got the car inspected. Maybe I'll start with this. This is a quick one. It's
We can start now because you are
oh, we're on.
rolling, my friend.
We're back, baby. Cold
You
open.
want a light or a time check at any point? Like,
Now we'll look at our phones. We're gonna self-light. Thank you.
I'll send you the files tomorrow. Is that cool?
You're the man.
Great. Roger will be here when you leave.
Sorry about all the cancels, and we are here today.
Yeah, sorry, we're the worst people.
We suck ass.
We're like, hey, Mike, thanks for making our dreams come true. JK, we cancel.
All right, let's start the show. Mike, we love you.
But
I just wanna
actually,
tell
we
you-
we have something that just came up. We have to cancel, right?
I want to tell this real quick. Cold open story. Got my car inspected today. Okay, and as you know, I
I feel like we just did this.
the car inspection story.
No, that you just got it inspected.
It's a
How often
it's
if-
a yearly thing.
Oh.
I think. Anyway, this is how the guy goes. I go in the hood, baby. I don't need you looking at my car and inspecting it. Okay.
Well, I mean, I would prefer it, but go ahead.
I don't need you to look at, is it safe? Is it not? This is what the guy does. Okay. He says, hold on, sir. He walks around the car once. He tapped on the hood, deep. And then he peeled off the sticker and put on a new sticker. And that's it.
I mean, listen, I
My mug.
feel like
Thanks, Mom.
people should know about this because it's like if you think that everyone driving along the highway is like getting their stuff taken care of, they're not. And if you think those big trucks and whatever, everyone's like gone in and checked the brakes and whatever, like the second that you want to feel your most road ragey, I feel like you should just have some sort of alarm that goes off in your head that's like, not only is everyone who's driving around you fully on their phone, like fully playing like Wordle,
Yeah.
but like also none of those cars have actually been inspected. Like the sticker is just a sticker.
Well, there's a sign on the wall that goes, "We only take cash. If you, it's $37, whether you pass or fail. Do not ask us to break the law."
I have like here's a good story on the other side of the inspection spectrum.
Okay.
Today I was going to donate blood because they were having a drive at my office, and also because I'm a hero. And this has never happened to me before. You know, they do the finger prick before.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't donate today.
Why? Too thin.
Yeah, too thin.
Too young.
Too young, too thin, too hot. They were like, you're going to distract the technicians.
They did that to me. They were like, "Sir, this is your penis."
They were like, your boobs are too big.
Hello. Whoa. Hello.
No, my iron was too low.
Your iron. I haven't seen you iron in years.
I
Come on.
don't iron, but
This shirt is wrinkly as F.
no, it's not. I literally, that's never happened before. And she was like, do you want me to try another finger?
Eat a steak.
It's the same blood supply.
As well, that's what she said. Also,
But I did have her try another finger.
I stopped giving blood when they screwed up when I was giving COVID blood. Anyway, I got to pay you a compliment, okay, as we start this show.
Oh, God.
Can I pay you a compliment without you getting mad at me?
Probably not. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we had our monthly show, which was not a huge crowd, but it was an eager crowd.
A good crowd.
A great crowd. I love this crowd. And it was a thirsty crowd.
Right.
An ugly crowd. There was, mainly friends of the show.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then up front, there were these old people that, of course, I was like,
Not old.
older than 30. They were older than most of our young and hip audience.
I mean, you're about to just like, okay, go ahead.
I would say, were they above 50?
I don't know.
They were. So
Am I above 50? I'll never say.
I said I was. See, you're anti-comedying me right now. They're old. They know they're old.
Because
and they're
originally
cool.
you were going to give this person a direct shout out on the pod, and now you're like, this old person.
Yes, because that's why I thought it was interesting. Is that a lot of comics will like see somebody who's above 35 and assume they've like never, like, so sorry, I'm swearing in front of you, and the old people are like, I was in Korea, like, do your thing, right? So I crowd work them, which I didn't mean to. I'm like, you're an astronaut, whatever. And the lady was like a chemist. And they
cool.
loved our show.
The
and they
not
came
old
up to
woman was
us.
a chemist.
They came up to us and they said, and first of all, your set was incredible. It
Thank
was
you.
the best set
Thank
I've
you.
ever seen you do.
Thanks.
You channeled the rage. You channeled the energy. You were making fun of me.
It was my first time doing stand-up.
She's a young comic. All right,
An
babies.
ingenue.
Yeah. So the woman comes up and goes,
Joining the cast of Euphoria.
I want to call you STUPID, but I don't want to say that word around our kids. So she goes, look, we've been on a road trip for 4 weeks going to baseball stadiums, but we've been fighting the whole time. And I go, God, you just can't make a woman happy. She's retired. What the hell? But she goes, your set, meaning mine, but mainly your wife's set, like, helped us get out of this fight.
And were you like, my wife?
My wife. That's the joke you chose out of all that compliment. You dingo, llama, nodding llama ass over there.
Was she retired?
They were on some sort of trip through together, and they were fighting.
Chemical Rumspringa.
First of all, she told me they were in a fight for 4 weeks, which is crazy. But then she also said, and again, she may run into the show and go, this is not what I said at all. This is Noah Savage's interpretation of it. But it was at
which
your
is
set. And then,
never accurate.
But then also my friend said he wanted to show a taped version of your set to his wife
You
to
know
get them
what?
out of a fight.
No, that was really both complimentary and also alarming. Like, I don't understand how my rantings and ravings for 22 minutes or whatever it was could, like, solve someone else's marital strife. But, like, also, like, I'm glad these men are at least trying. I mean, at least try to listen to a woman.
Interesting take.
I feel like
That makes me want to jump right into Devil Wears Prada.
no, wait. So I was just saying, like, sometimes when I hear you repeat back what someone else has told you, but I know that you weren't really listening, it reminds me of those automated customer service, like when you have to call Verizon and they're like, before I put you through to representative, why don't you tell me? But it's just the robot. Why don't you tell me what you're calling about today? And you're like, representative, and then the voice is like, I think you said that you're calling about Fios home video, and you're like, no, like, and like sometimes I feel like when you tell me back a story and you're like, I think they said they were going to see where the Stanley Cup was originally made, and I'm like, is that what they said?
And I think this again would be a great TikTok sketch for you, but we could use my actual voice. So,
I think you
press
said
2 for the waiting room. Press 2 for digital appointments. Yeah, that is how I listen. I'm a big picture guy.
Right. I think you said you were looking for different ways to store human organs.
I just was really impressed with your set, and then we
Thank
went
you.
right from that into Rogue Island, which was fantastic. Marriott maxing to the max.
Rogue Island was really fun. We drove up with Brendan Sagalow. Shout out. Halfway through our absolutely brutal amount of traffic road trip, he was like, well, I didn't bring my wallet
Yeah, that was
or
fun.
ID or anything, and I'm flying tomorrow. So he really seemed very calm about the entire thing, which was a huge credit to him. I would have been like, oh, man, I gotta go back.
He chat GPT'd and was just like, oh, you can't get on a plane without an ID. That's okay. I mean, I told him to just show his Instagram. I'm like, it's your name. It's you doing stand up. Like,
It
what
just
else they
depends
want?
on which TSA agent you're going to get. But also, like, people lose their IDs, like, on vacations. Like, you can obviously get back, but it's, like, got to be a
Yeah,
real
like,
pain in the butt.
I lose my entire wallet every time I go on vacation
It
because
also,
I'm blacked out.
right. It also reminded me of, like, how much I am dependent on, like, Apple Pay now.
I don't use it.
At all?
I never use Apple Pay.
Oh.
Something about me? No Apple Pay, baby.
And why would you say you don't use Apple Pay?
Just because I'm like, I don't want, like, if I lose my phone to also, like, you steal all my money.
Okay.
Face off. They switch faces. Imagine Face Off, but with Face ID opening your phone. Hello, sequel 20 years later. Where's that instead of Devil Wears Prada 2?
Yeah. Wait, anything else you wanted to say about Rogue Island? Shout out Doug Key. We had a great time.
No, but it's like, I've done it twice. It's the only festival other than I did the New York City, whatever, as like a fill-in. It's so well run. It's so fun. The audience are so ready. Like, there was that dude who was at both of my sets, and I was like, you're going to see some repeats, but I did some new stuff.
Oh, that guy was nice. But he was like a local supporter /
He's just a great comedy fan.
He was such a good laugher. Oh my God. He was something like when I wasn't on stage, he was fun to watch.
Yeah, just enjoy.
Like because you're seeing almost like in real time, like what's hitting. And he was also like every audience member, like he was setting the tone for them. So like that was also really helpful. And he typically, because he was like, you know, a local fan and supporter and whatever, and I think like a local business owner.
He's a pillar of the community.
Yeah, shout out Tom Kelly. But he helped the other audience members like relax into it, which like we were talking about coming out of some of the shows where it's like it can feel hard if you're further away from the stage and you're laughing at something, but it feels like people around you are not laughing. Like
Oh, yeah.
there's a
Reminded
built-in
me.
like self-consciousness there, and like everyone does it. It's like a human thing. But like if you are surrounded by some good laughers who are a little bit less inhibited,
Yeah.
then that actually can change the entire tone of the room. Like it's almost like you want to like plant these people around, like in the bigger rooms.
Like my sister.
Yeah, your sister's an awesome laugher, awesome reactor.
I walk on stage to host, and this is my sister. Like who knows, has heard more of my shit besides my sister than you probably. Immediately laughing. She's just already having a great time.
Yeah.
But
But
you reminded
she
me-
was such a great person to have at our show because she had people on both sides of like folks who had been there before and folks who had never been there before.
Yeah.
And like seeing someone laugh and feel so comfortable that close to the stage is like a great indication that it's going to be a fun show, because you're like, there's none of that like weird tension of like, oh, like don't come after me, like is this a comic that's gonna like make fun of my hat or whatever. And it's like, of
Is this a
course
hat?
we're gonna make fun of your hat, like of course,
Is this
but
a hat?
we're not gonna like make the show about you.
Yeah.
And people get nervous about that, like really.
Yeah. And Is This a Hat is a bit I saw 15 years ago that does kill with our 5-year-old and 2-year-old
Yeah,
children. where
now he's doing it.
you pick up the stool and you go, "Is this a hat? I'm crazy." And
It's so funny.
Henry does do Is This a Hat with a big foam unicorn chair. But you reminded me, there was a show that we both did shows in the big room at this brewery. There was like 100 people, and but there was one row of high top tables that was separate than the low top tables. And I saw this couple. People are killing, okay? But this one particular couple kept looking at each other and being like, he was like looking at her. It must have been a third date. Like, I don't know. If she laughed, I guarantee that dude would have been laughing. But she was offended by something. They didn't laugh the whole time. Now I'm talking like 95 people are laughing and like 4 people aren't. And I was like, I couldn't, as much as I love that other guy, these guys were just, these 2 people were such pieces of shit.
I think that they legitimately didn't know how to be audience members. Then there was like literally a physical separation that their table had from like the group.
Yeah.
And it was just the 2 of them on a date. I don't think they, like, honestly, when I thought back on it after, like, in my most generous part of my brain, I'm like, maybe they, like, maybe they just lost someone. I'm like, maybe they're grieving.
What the?
Because I was like, I don't know. I've never seen 2, like, less, like, engaged. They weren't even engaged in, like, the fact that they were, like, out on a date. Like, they weren't
No.
even really engaged with each other. It was just, like, really, like...
I actually
like,
saw them leaving, going to their car. And I was like, I know what's happening. They're just really horny. Like,
I
they're
did
dying
not
to
get
out of here.
horny vibes from them at all. I thought they were like really like some sort of like deep-seated unhappiness, but like that's fine. Also, like it doesn't have to be for you. Not everything has to be for you, and that's like also fine. Like and if you came to one show and you didn't love it, it wasn't like whatever,
yeah.
you could try again.
So
Like
if
the same way if you see one Broadway show and you're like, "Oh, I didn't get it. I didn't like it. I whatever." It doesn't mean that every single live theater show you're going to hate.
Let me tell you something. If you go to first of all, shout out to that brewery and please sponsor us. The beer was great.
Yeah.
The comics were funny.
Yeah.
If you can't sit there and drink a great beer and like at least try to find something to laugh at, I'm like,
I had
sorry, you're not for me.
I had whatever gin they had, like,
yeah,
I don't know
you
if they
did.
make it or they bring it in, but it was
Yeah.
great. It was like 2 of the strongest cocktails I've ever had. Like I was near death. And then I got a pizza from my bros out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And I gave them that like wooden token that Doug gave me. And they were like, we don't know what this is for. And I was like, well, can I just pay for the pizza? Like,
I did that too. I was like, lobster roll. They're like, I have this token. They're like, you could get a cup of chowder. I'm like, I don't want hot chowder right now.
These two were like, we don't even know what these tokens are or like what this is supposed to be. And I was like, so let's just level set here. I will pay for the pizza.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, we'll take the token. I was like, so you do know what the token is. And then I just gave them the cash that I had, whatever. But I was like, this is so unnecessary. Also, like, I so appreciate Doug and the brewery trying to make it they really make it so good for the comics.
Yeah.
Like, we get everything. So I'm like, I don't also need free pizza. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we forgot a couple. The other thing we want to talk about was I was being a little dad cringe up there. At one point, there was a horse. Or are you going to bring this up later?
No. I'm just going to block it from
So
my
I
memory.
go to see Doug, and I give him a handshake, and then I think he wants a hug. So I go for the hug. He's already, like, checking somebody else in. He's just standing there. I go,
Also-
whiff on the hug.
Also, like, if you've only ever seen Doug, online, Noah is like, what?
Yeah, he would rattle around inside my body. He's
Like,
in
easily.
incredible shape and just a shorter person, but
But
also
he's a
ripped.
shorter person than you, but also in very,
I'm going to eat you, Doug. Get over here. Please.
it was very like, what are the monsters' names from Monster Inc.?
Yeah.
Like, it was like the little guy and the big guy, like, the big guy, like, wants a hug, and the one's like, no, like, very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So then there's a big disco ball and a disco horse, which is just like a horse that's...
Looks like a disco ball.
Yeah. So,
But it's the size of an actual horse.
which was funny that Brendan was like, how many people have made jokes about the disco ball? I'm like, nobody really had. And the audience was like, what? But he was riffing about that in the disco horse. So then in between the shows, somehow I'm on the other side of where the aisle is, and I just get like trapped behind the door. There's just me and the shiny horse, and Alyssa's like, oh no, because I had done well. But it's like now I don't know how to like be in the world.
Seeing like a 6'8" man trapped with a glitter horse behind,
Which had a penis.
right, behind like a saloon door is just
Yeah.
like, it's hard to come back from that.
I was, I had a couple awkward moments up there where I was like, ugh.
The other thing that made me laugh really hard in the car was because we had hit a ton of traffic, and Brendan was on that first show, and we were like coming into Rhode Island, and traffic had let up, so we were like going to get there basically on time. And you go, does someone want to text Doug so he can rest easy?
Oh yeah.
So he can rest easy. We're going to make it on time. So tell Doug to rest easy. I'm like,
Yeah.
rest easy is what they say when someone dies.
Yeah, tell him to rest in power, King.
Rest in power, short king.
Yeah, I was, and you know what is something that
And
I'm
Brendan was too nice to be like, what are you talking about?
I'm glad you told me that I was keyed up, even though it did piss me off in the moment, because I love hanging with comedians that I like, and Brendan is one of my like. If I never met Brendan, I love his comedy. He's like one of my favorite comedians. So then after a couple of beers, I have another cringe moment. I don't even want to tell you.
Oh, no.
I went on stage and we got to watch Brendan do half hour twice, and then I said something to the effect of like, "You're just such a great comic, and it's just cool that we're friends" or something
Ew.
to him, and he was like, "Huh."
All right.
He
He
just
was-
backflipped out of the wall.
He was literally like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm going to the airport now.
But equally, like if somebody sucks, I'm not gonna give him up. I'll go. I'm not gonna be like, "Great set, dude," but like there's such few great. I'll say good set. I'll be a nice person, but like. I give it up to people that I really like who are good at comedy. Like that's.
I always-
sorry.
I think that when the person on stage did well, and they know they did well, and then they come off and everyone's like, oh, nice work, whatever, it's fine. I think when it goes okay, when it's like basically just fine, it's a forgettable set, it's maybe not amazing, whatever, and people are like, good set, you're like, they're just being polite, right? It's like, but like, they're not being rude, they're just like, you did fine, like you did great, whatever. When people do like really, really badly and people feel the need to be like,
Good job.
I find that to be totally unnecessary and borderline weird. Like, if you don't know what to say to me after I just absolutely speak to silence for 15 minutes, then I would suggest
Yes.
either going to the bathroom when I get off stage or just like making yourself scarce, because I'm like, I do not.
Wait, so you do poorly on stage? Now I have to go poop?
Probably.
That's what you're telling me?
I'm not you, but I'm saying like the
I
other
know,
people
like,
on the show where it's like this weird like mental twitch of like I have to tell you you did a
Yeah.
good job even though we both are sitting here knowing it's not even like whether or not
Yes.
you did a good job. The whole thing sucked.
Well, as I started as a club rat, and then I moved into the alt scene, which is my biggest mistake. I should have just like always barked because I love selling. So
I feel like you started as a club rat and then you became an actual rat.
yes, and then I just became Templeton
You
eating
grew
garbage.
a tail, yeah, and you started scurrying around New York.
So in the club scene, something people would say was, "How are they?" about the audience.
Yeah.
And then if somebody did bomb, they'd be like, "Yikes!" They would like make a joke about it because it's like we're all comedians and kind of like there was going to be another show. Like there's
Yeah.
3 shows tonight. It's not a big deal. I remember seeing one of my friends early on in the alt scene. They did well or something, but one joke bombed, and somebody was like, "Ooh, the shoelace joke," and they were like, "What, man?" And they're like, "Feelings got hurt," and I was like, "What is this?" Like I didn't even know there was dudes who exist like that.
I just think it's kind of because you're performing in an open space. It's really weird. Like if it doesn't go the way it's, I'm only ever competing against myself, right? I'm only ever
You know how it went.
right, but I'm like if I bomb the whole time, the only goal becomes finish what you came here to do and move on with your life. That's the only goal. Like if the whole thing was killer, but I didn't remember to do like the one thing that I wanted to do, I'm still going to be sort of annoyed with myself. So it's just weird when other comics are like watching something that like they know you're not happy with, and then they're like, "That was great though.
Yeah.
That was great." I'm like,
weird.
I don't need a gold star on my chart. Like I'm good.
Yeah. Agree. And one final thing, I know I might say this for the Alyssa Wolff Low Sweep, which is our final segment of the day, but I've seen notes on stage coming back.
Yep.
And it's one thing, first of all, you're never a notes on stage person. Open mic, very low stakes bar show maybe. Or if you're
Me?
you've never done it. I've never seen you do it once. I'm saying that you've always been a no, in my opinion. I've been like, all right, you're doing hours all over the country and you're doing our bar show with 10 people. You're trying to build another hour. Okay. But I'm seeing a lot of it and I don't like it.
I feel so my thing is if you are doing a 7 to 11 minute, bar show set or whatever, and you can't remember what you're going to say,
Yep.
then you need to try and listen to your own set or write it down a few times. Like when I first started doing comedy, the way I would remember what to do, and granted my sets were much shorter, but the best way for me to commit something to memory is to actually just write it out long form a couple of times. Mm-hmm. So like I would start doing that with jokes and then I would put together the set. And if you do that a couple of times, like it will stick in your head. If you can't do that for like a 7-minute set or whatever it is, like that's just that's just annoying. Like you then you're not ready for the show, to be honest. If you're doing a long set and it's a new set and you want to like check some stuff, I don't hate having like a tiny notebook with like 1-word reminders where you like, okay, I want to get to the next thing, and it's in an actual notebook.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm seeing a lot of now is the phone, and then they're like scrolling to like,
Yeah, it's brutal.
and I'm like, that now you're actually taking me out of it, and you're actually reminding me that I want to check my phone. And like,
yeah, it takes you out of the performance. I mean, I was
if you're just looking at your notebook for a second, I'm not like so upset with that, especially if you're doing like a 45-minute set.
I was watching a Bernie Mac stadium set recently, and I was like, there was no notes. Notes had nothing to do with this. It was him being funny as shit, because it's Bernie Mac going, my wife want a younger man. I said, go ahead. It's his. Go ahead. I'll watch. Like it's him. He's murdering. It has nothing to do with like a note. So that's why like it takes you so out of the performance. But we should. Sorry, we're up against time here. We should move along to. Go ahead first, and then we'll move along to Devil Wears Prada.
But I do think like for me, doing the amount of stand-up that I'm currently doing, which is to say not nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's sort of a challenge to myself, right? Like, if I need notes, it's because I was like preparing for something. Like, if I was like, oh, I'm building an hour that I'm going to tape, then I'm like, well, I want to check my notes so that I do it in the same way and I whatever. But like, if you're just checking your notes, I don't know, like it's like, it does, whether you want to think this or not, it does tell the audience that you're like not really prepared, and some people in the audience don't care, and they're like, oh, this is like new stuff they're working out, and some people are like, now I'm distracted by you're looking at your notes.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to this wonderful date on Friday.
You're welcome.
To Devil Wears Prada 2. I'm going to say it.
I wanted to see Sheep Detectives.
Yes. I don't know if I need to see that in the theater, but Devil Wears Prada 2, I'm going to put at a 7 out of 100. Sav dogs. It is I'm talking one of the worst movies I've seen in a theater, period.
I think that's like almost unfairly low, but I also don't see a lot of movies. Famously. I famously don't see any movies at all.
You're above them.
No, I don't have the time or the attention span, and also like, or quite frankly, like last year, all of the movies nominated for Oscars, like a huge chunk of them, were all about a baby or a child dying, and I was like, I'm out, and for that reason, I'm out.
Yes, facts.
So I'm like, I'm also like, in my parenthood era, I can't be watching some of the stuff that like is artistic, genius, but I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not for me.
This movie, not only, and I want to preface this with like, I've seen the first one. I love the first one.
This was very smooth brain.
You often come in and throw your coat at me like, what's her name? Miranda Priestley. So I get it. That movie, the first one, is all high stakes.
That's really more of a take on Michael Scott than it is Miranda Priestley.
Yes, it's a take on Michael Scott being Miranda Priestley. You miss all the shots you don't take, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. So, like, the first movie is all about 23-year-old, your first job, holy shit. High stakes. This movie, even if it was made in 2012, would have been outdated. I want to write articles that mean, first of all, magazines are everything in these type of movies. I want to write articles that mean something. But you know what? The internet. It's literally like the most boomerist shit ever.
I'm like, this movie could have easily been made about like the rise and fall of BuzzFeed, and it would have been just as like, it actually probably would have been more interesting. So as you know, I feel like the biggest missed opportunity with this movie was like, and so often they do this with these like major millennial moments.
Yeah.
Don't try to recreate the millennial moment. Do an offshoot. So like, why didn't they just pivot the plot to a side character, aka Emily Blunt's character, or like make it so that like you didn't have to make Anne Hathaway like the star of the plot, and Anne Hathaway would have happily been in it and done this sort of like, oh my God, can you believe it's been 20 years, blah, blah, blah. Like, there were so many other moments that could have become their own plot and been their own thing, and it would have been, like, really interesting. I thought, even in the beginning, there was, like, this whole thing about, like, the fast fashion. I'm like, it would have been more interesting if they went down the fast fashion route of, like, everyone, like, this has been true in the history of, of design, but it's like everything's a knockoff, right? So like, wouldn't that have been more interesting of like, what does like runway, aka Vogue, matter in a world where you can go down to Canal Street and get anything you want as like a knockoff? Like,
right.
There was no sort of like, they kind of like dug into the like, people who have money and are just like, it's all like vanity metrics and whatever. Like they got into it a little bit, but because the plot had absolutely no forward motion, it was like, who cares?
The plot was nothing. And also some of the fun moments of the first movie of like seeing the fashion, the glamorous life of New York, the glamorous life of fashion, because we're bombarded by Instagram all the time with that had no value whatsoever. And then the second part about the movie that's funny is like they kind of like played both sidesism on some issues. Like they made this weird joke about body positivity. Then they had like nobody fat in the whole movie other than one guy who is funny. They didn't use him funny at all.
At all.
And then they had him talking about a glow up awkwardly. Like, look, he lost all this weight. I was like, yikes. And then, of course, it's like the man who starts the company is an idiot. Luckily, his ex-wife can save the day. It was like very like trying too hard to be pro women without actually like. There was all this like.
But also, Emily Blunt is like is also the villain, but she's not. I'm like,
yeah. She's like. She's the bad guy. Just kidding. She's good. Oops, I work at Coach. Big punchline.
And then they were like, I mean, now we're also going to get into some spoilers, but like.
Oh, don't worry. The movie spoils itself. Please.
But I'm like, they also could have done a really interesting thing about why did Emily have to leave Runway in the first place? Mm-hmm. Like, there could have been some major thing that happened where, like, and I'm like, so that would have been interesting, but instead she was like, you might be smart, but you don't have what it takes. And she's like, to run a magazine? And I'm like, like, to be fair, I don't want to run a magazine. It seems pretty hard. There's a lot of moving parts, like, whatever. But I'm also like, so, like, she's missing this, like, it factor. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine, I guess, if we're, like, living within this world. Yep. But I'm like, that's not, like, drama. Like,
no stakes. None.
Like, but the whole thing was just so the only thing I really did enjoy were all the outfits and the actual fashion of it. But I didn't see the, like, I don't know. And then, like, Stanley Tucci being her, like, career, you know, fairy godmother was, like, pretty dumb. And then, like, these cutaway shots of, like, you know, Italy and Lake Como and whatever. And I'm like, totally, but like, I don't know.
Just watch his show on the Food Network.
I still like had a pleasant time at the movie theater, but I didn't really need that movie. And I'm like, I'm only mad because the first movie opens up so many other storylines that could have been really interesting, that could have been like manipulated into something that was like more relevant and still had all the moments of like millennial, like.
How about Anne Hathaway's character ends up being just like Miranda Priestley, because now she's the boss and she's being mean, and then she has to rediscover, you know what I mean? Like there, and also early in the movie, she was just trying to be funny in a very cringe way for me. I was like,
Anne Hathaway?
Oh yeah. I was like, yikes.
I just felt like it felt almost like an SNL sketch to me, where it was like,
it felt like a digital short.
It was like, and playing the part of new features editor is Anne Hathaway, and then we're all like, and we're like, whoa, she looks so cute, you know.
A lot of the movie was like, wow, look how good they still look,
and they do look really good
because of Ozempic and ton of work, and good for them.
I think they look great, and I don't know if they're all doing Ozempic. They were all pretty thin to begin with.
They
but
are all slamming that baby. And
I don't know about that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I don't know about that. But I think, like...
Tell me all about it.
You know what was a big missed opportunity for me in the movie?
What's that?
So she gets to borrow all the fashion to go to the Hamptons thing at Miranda Priestley's. First of all, my big question there was like, is she staying overnight?
What happened to the stain? By the way,
exactly.
They didn't resolve the stain.
So they make a big thing of the stain.
Don't stain it. Not a drop.
It. You know, you're 40 now. You better not fucking stain it. And, you know, you're going to wear this dress, and everyone wants to wear this dress, and, like, whatever. Yep. And then she stains the dress, and I'm like, where was either the punchline to the joke or the follow-up of, like, why that was such an issue? So, like, and again, like, was she sleeping in Miranda's house? Like, that's crazy.
I don't know. We'll never know.
Right. I'm like, why was she even at this party? And then obviously, like, the internet talked about this, but I'm like, the Anne Hathaway love interest was literally nothing.
Right. I was like, who? So again, as a straight man, whoops, sorry. What the hell is it? Krusty the Clown laugh.
As you move it closer.
Again, I thought of this as my mic skills are impeccable, by the way. I'm speaking right to the right spot.
Interesting. Interesting.
It again felt like this, like, let's write a straight man who's attractive, but in a way that still is like very kind of anti-straight man. So they're like, he'll be foreign. And then they're like, they kept like chopping him down. He was just like a face. He had no, what made him attractive? He was there.
What was the point of anything with that?
There was nothing.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what
Yeah.
the internet says too. They're like, there was literally no point to this.
But that's because it's an anti-man movie.
I don't know if it's an anti-man movie, but I thought it was a direct reaction to the fact that it's very well acknowledged that Adrian Grenier is the true villain of Devil Wears Prada, the original. They're like, the boyfriend was actually so brutal, like...
Because he's bummed out that she's always working?
No, because he's like not supportive and he doesn't understand and he like yells at her because she like wastes a grilled cheese and whatever. Like he's just like generally a piece of shit, which is fine. But I'm like, then don't give her another like placeholder boyfriend. Give her nothing at all. Make her queer. Make her interesting. Like make her.
Why couldn't she have had kids by then? They had to make her childless.
Because Emily
not
had
married.
kids. Because she traveled the world and she did all the journalism stuff.
Yeah, what are you doing over there? You're not banging anybody? I don't think
You're
so.
not having kids.
Why?
Because that was her storyline. But I'm like,
She's doing another dead industry, journalism. Get out of here.
I just
that made
felt
no
like
sense either.
why?
That character in Devil Wears Prada 1,
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway's character, is very attractive. Is a person who would have ended up, not because that person would have ended up with kids and married and divorced maybe. But like I was like, why does she have to be the one that?
But they make reference to the fact that she had relationships or whatever. As she froze her eggs, that was like a big plot
yeah,
point.
that's true.
So then it's like, okay, so that I actually have no problem with. But I'm like, then why give her, if the love interest is not going anywhere, which it did
Yes,
not,
agreed. It was
why
like
give
nothing.
her anything? It would be more interesting if she was having an affair at work. And so then the big problem was that, oh, like, you fell in love with the guy who, you know, is like...
Yes. Add another layer of double
There was
crossing.
just... Every single
There's just
thing
nothing.
was just like this modular thing where they were like, okay, well, Emily Blunt had kids, so Anne Hathaway won't. It was just like, we give one plot point to this person, one plot point to this person, and then they like slowly trudge ahead. Like, it was just like nothing.
It seemed like it was written with the like, we don't want to be dragged for this later by the internet. Everything was very safe, a safe choice. Nothing was messy. Nothing was anything. It was just nothing. But afterward, are you done with it, or can we go to the afterwards fight?
Afterwards. Oh, sure, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So afterwards, because our dates just can't get any more exciting, we go to our favorite bar, The Wolf, named after you.
Wait, before we did that, I did see a rat run inside an apartment window.
Yeah.
So that really took me out of it.
And then I ran away from you because there were
you
rats
punched
around,
me in
so
the back.
I said, no, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I said, I'm out of here, and I ran away, which I did do. I do admit that. So
You left me to the rats.
So we get to the Wolf, where it's like a grown and sexy sports bar. So there's no standing around. So there's 2 seats, but there's a group of 5 that I asked to move down one so there could be 2 seats together.
First of all,
Yeah.
again, additional context. Every time we go to this bar, it's a really long bar.
Yeah.
Every time we go, we're typically together, and you always make people move down to accommodate us.
I kick people off workout machines staring at the phones. I don't give an F anymore.
But
Daddy's got to work, baby.
That is annoying because people pick their seat at the bar for specific reasons.
People leave. People move. We're all in it together. It's totally reasonable to ask people to move down.
Listen, you're entitled to ask people, but I would say they're also entitled to be like, no.
So one guy in this group, there's 2 boomers, 2 sets of 2 boomers, and then one guy our age or younger. So the one guy goes, he's super pissed.
This guy was like also like 24 years old, but yeah, he was
Okay,
a little younger.
So he was of our generation. I'm very ageist and I'm wrong. I don't know how old anybody is.
You always think people are older than they are.
No. So rejected.
It's like someone who's like exactly my age, and you're like, oh yeah, I think her kids are like they're going into college or whatever. I'm like, they're 9.
So I asked him to move down. One guy's pissed, and then there's like a foreign dude next to me with some accent, and a girl, again, woman, whatever, and
I don't even want to ask you how old you think that person
they're both
was.
50, I think.
Okay.
So he's chatting me up about sports, having a grand old time, And we're all fine. Other than the guy pissed off is like, whatever, this guy's pretty big. I'll move down. It's fine. So then we're just having a grand old time, me and you laughing it up.
We were watching the Spurs game.
Watching the Spurs game, and we're chatting about basketball with the guy next to me briefly a little bit. That dude, the woman asks him, she's eating a wrap and goes, "Oh, have you eaten?" This sends him into a rage. He's like, "Why would you ask me that? Blah, blah, blah. You always have
But
to..."
weren't they eating together? That's what doesn't make any... Like, I saw them all... I mean, I saw her food definitely come out, but wasn't he also eating?
When this dude spoke to me, I go, "This guy's hammered." Now, I didn't know it was a bad hammered. And so they're yelling, and then the dude who's 24 goes, "Damn it, Roger, stop." It's like a full-blown, like, embarrassing Thanksgiving dinner. I'm just, like, locked in straight ahead. I'm like, ugh. But what happened was he took it as an insult, like, you should eat something because you're so drunk, I think.
But he was so drunk.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
he should eat something.
Right.
So then they somehow switched seats. And I don't know why that happened. And then they continue to quiet whisper fight.
And drink.
And drink. Like, and he first he's silent for a full quarter of basketball. And then they just, like, silent fight, like, "Well, I told you that I already wanted to eat." I was like, oh my God. It was very bad vibes overall. And I was, like, looking at the bartender like, help.
Our poor bartender that night, too, she was just, like, so past the point. Like, I know she had been there, like, since that morning. So she was working, like, an absolutely brutal shift or a double shift or whatever. But I was like, when they started to fight next to us, I was like, this woman does not need this right now. Like, the last thing she needs are, like, these way too old men to be fighting about whether or not they had snackies for the day. Like, It was like, just order some fries and move on. But my thing is, like, what I learned about this bar recently, which makes me appreciate the bartenders are more, is that there is, like, absolutely no room for them to do anything. Mm-hmm. And then, like, it's a really small bar, and then everyone's like, "I'll take, like, the most complicated cocktail you've ever heard of." And I'm like, if you're going to have those kind of fancy cocktails on the menu, you need to give people, like, more than... I mean, seriously, they have, like, half a foot back there to move around.
You're like
it's
the
ridiculous.
new John Taffer. You're literally, like, looking at the way they...
Because recently when I've gone in there, the bartenders seemed, like, haggard. And I'm like, what's going on here? Because I think normally it's, like, kind of a nice place to work. Like, a lot of the people who work there, like it.
Yeah.
Like, our pals there. Shout out to Blake.
Yeah, and also they give them a certain number of drinks they can buy for the customer, which is cool.
Which
like,
is
per
nice.
shift.
But I'm like, why? They need more. Like, give them more resources.
Give them to me. Give me the...
Help these people. Help me help you get drunk.
I'm just checking notes real quick as I just hated on it.
Oh, wait, no.
All
I have the notes.
Okay, all I have left... Oh, we didn't... Well, we're not going to be able to get to Summer House on this episode.
Oh, no. We got to save it. Well,
we can do
did you
an
watch the
Alyssa
second
Wolff.
part?
No. I said we're not talking about it. You're like,
No, a preview.
all we have left is the Alyssa Wolff Low Sweep in my notes. What do you have in your notes?
I don't have the low sweep. Why do I keep hitting this mic?
I don't know. Anger?
Yikes.
What do you have in your notes?
Nothing. That's it. I have Summer House, but we're not going to get to it.
Okay. Do you have something prepared for the Alyssa Wolff Low Sweep, which is when Alyssa doesn't approve of something, she's like, Like, there was a river we go to.
It's not a river. We don't, like, take our children to a river.
Down to the river.
Yeah, you're like, it's called the Hudson.
Come on from the valley.
What if our kids were, like, playing in the Hudson River?
When you're young, they bring you up to do. I wish I could sing. So we go to a playground that has
You can draw.
a little bit. Thank you.
You can draw, so don't get
you.
greedy. You
Thank
can't
you.
sing.
I can rap though. I'll rap my ass off.
You can rap, sort of, and you can draw. So those are your two artistic skills.
I was rapping on the way up to Rogue Island, and then Brendan goes, kind of on the beat. He, like, roasted my ass. My soul died.
He was, like, too honest with you, I think.
No, it's fine.
I was like, no, Brendan, we have to, like, we just, like, soften the edges for Noah.
Just a guy that...
Be
another
gentle
guy,
on my big rat.
There's a lot of the people in this category, but someone that we've known a long time, but we've rarely ever seen anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like,
But there was a time in my life where I saw Brendan twice a day, 6 times a week. Like, I was seeing him day in and day out, and it's funny because it feels like no time has passed, because really it hasn't, but also, like, so much time has. And I was talking about that with someone, like, that's sort of like the fact that you and I had COVID and also kids like around the same time. It's like, so the 2-year break became, like a 4-year break, not from like everything entirely, but like everything during those years were so sporadic because it had to be. And then it's like, I just saw him last year. And then it's like, no, you saw him 5 years ago.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
I'll look at, but that's the only thing coming off of Rogue Island. The thought I had was like, this is great. And I wish I had this much stage time all the time. Like I love doing multiple really good sets in one night where you go, let me try one different word and see how it works.
Yeah.
But anyway, have you had a low sweep?
A good low sweep.
Oh yeah, but the river. So there's a little like lazy, like miniature river at this playground that the kids play in with the sprinklers, and some kid was like blocking it up and like forming a lake that was gonna like flood the sandbox.
Let me tell you what actually happened.
And Alyssa was like, and then
Okay, so the Alyssa Wolff Low Sweep, which Noah tells me is when I'm really like I've hit my limit. It's really
and it happens.
I
Grocery
actually
store,
I
bus,
think it's like
playground.
actually because I grew up, with my incredible mother who is a very fun and creative and open-minded person for the most part. And then in her own way hits her limit and that's it. And my mom, at least in her classroom or whatever, it was a snap. She'd be like, that's it. Like and it's the loudest snap you ever heard and it's so scary.
Yeah.
Mine has somehow, next generation down, I've done the low sweep. My low sweep is when, like, I consider myself a person on this planet. I try genuinely to, like, not make everyone's life worse all the time. I try to do it only some of the time. So when I see these people who are like, oh, like, it's only about me and I am the only person that matters and I'm just going to do whatever I want at the expense of other people, I get very annoyed.
Yeah.
Normally, I don't like to engage. But obviously, it comes up so often with kid stuff. So anyway, so we're at this playground, and this playground is primarily for little kids. It is not a big kid playground. There's a tiny little river. There's a sand pit.
Yeah.
There's seesaws, right? So sometimes these older kids come, and they're, like, making mischief, and it drives me nuts. So when we were there, I pointed out to you that this older kid was using plastic to clog up the entire drain to, like, make a lake. But the problem with doing that is that then all the water is going to build up and go right into the sand pit where all these little kids are playing.
Right.
So I pointed out to you with a low sweep, like, no, you cannot. This is not your lake to build. Maybe, maybe go into the Hudson River and see there's more water over there, right? Also, obviously, the dad's just like staring at his phone. It just drives me nuts.
So initially I said, you don't have to be like the world police, Team America on the bus in the state. Low sweep in here, low sweep in the street. But then 5 minutes later, I'm like.
So Noah's like, Alyssa, don't get involved.
Yeah.
This is not your sweep to sweep.
Yeah.
Don't low sweep him. Just, pay attention to our kids and don't worry about it, right?
Yeah.
No sooner does he say this to me that I turn back around and you have your shoes and socks off.
Because I got to go in the lake.
Then you're going into the lake. You're basically
waiting.
You're fording the river with your oxen.
Yep.
To dig out what this kid has built over the drain.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, so I got in trouble for my low sweep, but now you're physically removing the barrier.
I changed my mind. I agreed with you, but also then the dad comes over because the kid's like, wait, he's removing my plastic. And then the dad leaps up off his phone. He looks at me and is like, I'm like, look, I don't want to flood these little 2-year-olds in the sand pit. And the dad is like, I don't care about anything. And then the kid who has a knife now.
The kid had a knife.
I started calling him Huck Finn because he was like barefoot. He had a knife. He's whittling sticks. He's causing mischief. And I literally was just like, listen, we can't be flooding the sandbox. The sandbox is a safe haven for these little babies.
But also, who gave the 9-year-old a knife?
All right, so you ready for my low sweep? You're not going to agree with it at all. Yours was that, okay? Mine is when you see people on the airplane ordering drinks, they don't drink at home. I don't know why that annoys me. They go, cran apple, no ice. And I go, you think you've ever had a cran apple in your garage, you stupid bleep? It annoys it. I go, I don't
You
know why.
mean just like a soft drink?
I'm saying, yeah, they're ordering, tomato juice, various cran remixes. I call bullshit on this. You don't actually drink that. So I don't know why that annoys me, but that's probably, a mental illness.
I don't know why cran apple would be your example.
But it reminds me of the crazy.
Tomato juice is one that people
That's a standard.
always order on the plane, but I don't really know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. They're probably because they used to drink Bloody Marys in the morning, and then it became.
I think it's like a vitamin C thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get some nutrients.
Yeah.
My dad drank a lot of tomato juice on and off planes.
I told you this, but
V8, remember?
he
V8?
crushed V8. We
One time, my mom got spicy V8,
yeah, he's like, oh God.
and he obviously hated it, but we really liked it, and we made like spicy Bloody Marys.
It was great.
And it was really good. Yeah.
I played golf the other day, and we had a crazy random with us. It was me and another shout out Andrew Collin, comedian. And the first 9, we're like, this guy's great. He like finds our balls. He's like a very good player, which is important. Keeps pace with everybody. Then the cart girl came, and it was like noon. And he's like, what do you guys want to drink? And I was like, I'll just get Gatorade. And Andrew, he gets Gatorade, doesn't drink. And he this old man, again, turns to me and goes, I said, what do you want to drink? And I go, I think you're going to have beer. And he's like, I'm having beer. I go, all right, I'll get 2 Coronas. So then he starts drinking.
He just like bullied you into getting Corona.
He peer pressured me. But as he started boozing,
He got worse and worse.
no, the golf stayed same. But there was just.
No, I mean personality wise.
Oh, yeah. 1 million more dick jokes on the back 9. He's like, oh, Andrew, you big dick dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We were like, oh, my God. Early on, we're like, we got to play with this guy again.
Nope, change your mind.
No, I'll play with him again. He was an excellent golfer. And
My
he bought the rounds.
my addendum to my low sweep is also low sweep to V8 Tropical Splash.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Carrot, mango. Kill me.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
All right, we are out of time. Thanks for doing this. We try to get this weekly. Can you commit?
Sure.
Can you commit to being here weekly? Sales close.
That just reminds me that we need to cancel our gym membership.
I don't need to. I paid a year in full. Boom. What was the show you were watching when they were dabbing?
The other two.
Yeah.
A great rewatch. If
End
you
the
haven't
show.
watched the other two.
End the show.
You end the show.
I'm trying to. You're talking about gym memberships.
Bye.
All right, bye. So subscribe. Peace out.